We are here today, ladies and gentlemen, with Grafik. Give us a round of applause. What's up, my guy? Thank you so much for coming through. First off,
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Grafik. Well, like we were recording. We weren't recording, but we were catching the vibe just prior to this, and I want to introduce you to, like, obviously all our listeners and stuff like that. I always found you like an interesting character. I met you through Acer, who we've had on the show. He's here too, but he's right here in the back.
You're sitting next to me, but you can't see him.
Yes, sir. But dude, so I've always been like curious about, you know, who you are. I know you do a lot of work with a lot of artists and you know, these companies. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who's behind the graphics?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a designer, art director, illustrator, graphic artist, you know, creator, you know, but collaborator, I think it would be the best way to explain that.
Yeah.
Majority of the work that I do is all for recording artists and you know, retail design. I work for Hot Topic.
I seen that.
Yeah, so
I was gonna bring that up. I bring that up.
Yeah, so I work for Hot Topic currently as a licensed designer. So so it's all property license work, and then outside of that, then you know, being able to work with people like Acer and his brand freelance,
for sure.
that direction too, and then with recording artists as well. So single covers or album art, or if they go on tour, building out the promotional assets for that.
Yeah, I love it. I love your work. I've been following you for a minute.
Thank you.
I told you that when we were over there a little while ago. But I'm interested to find out, because like whenever I meet like a creator, someone who's like really in tune with their art and all that stuff, I feel like they're really sitting within their own, like, their bag, you know what I mean? You know, and so I'm curious to know, like, at what point were you like, yo, I figured myself out and like this is the direction that I'm going with it? Like, was there a moment for you where it's like, where it was like, this is where I feel...
Or when did you even decide to start? I guess we should start there, because that's a great question. But I want to know
that's a really good question.
I want to know what got you to even want to design anything.
I was a kid, so I think I made up my mind when I was 12. I was like in 6th grade. I had made up my mind in terms of the type of life that I wanted to have, like what I wanted to focus on.
Sure.
And then what direction that I wanted to go to around that time. Because growing up, you know, it was album covers and magazines were like the source of inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, from Juxtapose magazine, Source magazine, you know, all the hip hop magazines. And then, you know, my dad was really big into music, and he had a gang of CDs and vinyls. Yeah. So spending time just looking through the booklets and stuff like that, like what really inspired me was the art in that.
Yeah.
And I was already drawing, you know, like making drawing, you know, just as a kid, you know, like we do.
Like beyond stick figures, though.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing little comic books and like making my own
skulls
characters
and stuff, or what?
Yeah, all that. Like I was really, I was really into the work of Todd McFarlane and Spawn.
Yeah.
So comic books like that really inspired me. You know, even like the Max. I don't know if you guys remember that. The Max was a comic book, but it was also an MTV show. Like they had made a cartoon of that on MTV. And so
really aged yourself.
So I was really into that, you know, and so
for sure.
art was my escapism, I guess, you know. So when I was 12 years old, though, I remember I was going into middle school, and kind of my parting from elementary school into middle school, a lot of my friends wanted me to draw things for them because I wouldn't see them. We went to different schools. And so there was an instance where one of my classmates, I drew a picture, and one of my classmates was like, you know, you're going to be an artist, like whatever. And it just stuck with me. Yeah. It was innocent, you know, and just being nice. But it stuck with me in the way of I liked how that sounded to someone complimenting me. Yeah. And it was like, okay, I guess I am. And so
that's real.
He decided your fate for you in that moment.
It was like a manifestation in my mind, because I'm like, if this person sees me this way, and it feels real, you know, or it feels like, oh, you
authentic.
It feels real, you know. So, but I think music, like MTV, obviously had a lot to do with what industry I wanted to go, the direction I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I'm going to make art, you know, I want it. Where do I want it to be? You know, is it going to be in a gallery? Is it going to be in a magazine? Is it going to be on an album cover?
Right. On the wall?
T-shirts. You know, skateboarding was really big. So, you know, World Industries and Blind and things like that growing up. So the things that I was into and inspired by kind of paved the direction that I wanted to go. And then it became a figure out game after that, where it was just kind of like, okay, if I want my work to be on a T-shirt, how do I do that? Or if I want it to be on a skateboard, how do I do that?
Yeah, you had to figure it out.
And it was just figure it out.
And so this is like very early on. Yeah. And like, so fast forward, I mean, I'm not gonna like skip over everything in between because I think there's a lot of content. There's a lot of shit that people can learn from that.
Wait, before we fast forward.
Sure.
A question that I had for you is, how old were you, or when was the first time?
I just told you 12.
That you got no. I want to know, like,
come on, bro. No, kidding.
When was the first time that you got like paid to do some art?
Well, I think he might have to tell us where, like, his question first, where he decided this is it, right? Is that
no, he could go. He can answer that one.
Yeah. Well, I did. I mean, in terms of like, I'm only going to do this. 12.
Yeah.
You know, like all through middle school and high school, it was just keep making stuff, keep whatever, you know. And
were you making any money then?
It depends. Because,
were you getting hot Cheetos at lunch because you drew someone a flower?
Like I would.
You were getting compensated in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Like I would design backpacks
for sure.
Oh hell yeah, bro!
So you had motion.
Yeah, I was like
a slushy every day.
I was slanging my art like that. You know.
That's sick.
So, but to answer your question, which what was your question again?
When you got paid?
I guess was the first time you got paid.
About 17 or 18.
Nice.
But it was I was in like tattoo shops at the time.
Oh,
and,
tattooing?
No. Like I had friends that worked at tattoo shops, and so I had just started messing around with Photoshop in high school. I was like maybe a junior at the time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make money. You know, I needed to figure out a hustle or whatever. So I had gone to a local tattoo shop, but where I was going to school, where I was living at the time. And I had offered like, oh, do you need business cards or, you know, flyers or promo or whatever? And then, my homie was like, I could use business cards. So it kind of started there. Nice. You know, it was just like, I found a way to digitally make art.
Yeah.
Because then digital translated to print and production.
Yes.
Which was very smart because no one knew in the future, like, digital was going to rule the world.
No, I saw it with MySpace. When MySpace was around, I was designing MySpace pages for recording artists.
Oh, so was I.
Oh,
yeah, not for. I was doing it for myself.
He had like fat jams in the back.
You know, like we had we have a lot of homies that make music, you know, and they all had music MySpace pages and stuff, and they wanted their top banners and stuff.
Look a certain way and all that.
Yeah, we didn't know it, but we were coding back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, not only it wasn't just that. It was just like understanding like aesthetic also.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
No.
No, they don't. But a lot of the time they don't is because there's actual design principles to follow.
For sure.
And if they're just arbitrarily doing whatever, just piecing shit together, then it comes off kind of janky.
Sure.
But then once time goes on, you start to learn like, okay, well, this is how to use dead space. This is how to use color theory. You know, like all the jargon with it. Then it gets better.
Which I like that. I'm a fan of that, of all the jargon.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah. It's just I have to be selective of who I talk to sometimes about it because they're like, I know it's foreign language. You know?
I know what you're saying. Yeah. But very intentional is what you're saying, right?
For sure.
That you had to figure out how to be intentional with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the most people who are really good at that, it's almost like for like a casual, like anyone who's seen it as a casual, like not a designer or anything. It's so good that you don't even notice it in a way.
Yeah, well, because it becomes a part of the
brand
the system.
Yes,
you know, it becomes a part of what you're doing. And I think, like with me, for example, I always took I always took my job serious. Like I didn't want to be a hobbyist. I wanted this to be full time. I go about things, and I would hit roadblocks where I felt like opportunities weren't coming, or I felt like my work wasn't being received the way it was supposed to in my mind. You know, like my delusion was not adding up to reality. And so I had to kind of take a step back and figure out like what the hell's happening here, you know? And
why isn't it connecting?
Why? And I think when you can study it and figure it out and it bothers you enough, then you start to realize, well, this is a me problem. And I have to start figuring out how to elevate my work, not just the actual work itself, but then the association part of it, you know, how you're connecting with people and how you're networking and how you're kind of moving and aligning yourself.
Sure.
You know, because the association side of things is really important as well.
Yeah. I tell these guys all the time, guilty by association.
Yeah,
you know?
I believe in that for sure.
Yeah,
so
I think I tell you that all the time.
No, dude. So I'm like, yeah. So to your point, I'm also like pretty selective, because I know that type of shit does matter, you know. And so when you get into like integrity and like who you are, like you yourself as an artist, I'm sure at this point you already figured yourself out.
Yeah, well, yeah, because what you're saying too is that's part of the growing pains of it.
Yeah,
because when you're coming up in it, when you're in your, you know, teen years and early 20s and stuff, like everything is kind of like cool. You know, you're more impressionable.
Sure.
Your friends are all doing something, and you're like, oh, let's all work together and all this shit. But then as time goes on, you know, and in my case, at least, it's like I kept doing my thing. A lot of the people that I was aligning myself with, they all quit.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, I have to keep connecting with new people and moving on. And then, you know, the selective thing, I feel like for me had to be earned almost.
Yeah.
You know, like I felt like if I was too selective early on, then I would be closing the window on a lot of opportunity.
Sure.
But then kind of as time went on and my portfolio expanded, my friendships got stronger and better, then it was like, okay, I can afford to be selective now because now I know how much time goes into some shit, and now I have responsibilities. I got kids. I have bills. So you know, it's a lot of that.
Carrying yourself a certain way.
For sure.
That's cool. You have the power to say no, and it won't hurt you.
For sure. And you have to. It's a blessing to be able to have that power, but you have to earn that. You have to earn that
and not abuse it.
And well, definitely not abuse it, but also if you do it too prematurely, then it comes off egotistical.
Sure.
And it's like, well, who do you think you are to not fuck with me on something or not work with me? And it's not really even that. It's just that, you know, for me, you know, depending on the medium that I'm working on, you know, because I'm a multidisciplinary designer. Like it's not just Photoshop. You know, so depending on the scale of the project, if I know that a certain project is going to take me a couple weeks or a couple months to have to lace together, you know, I have to be mindful of my time and what I'm able to do. And sometimes people catch a stray in the middle of me in a moment where I can't take that on because I'm in the middle of something and then they don't get it. And especially being a designer, a lot of people, there's a lot of misconceptions with design. And there's a lot of people that don't really understand the different types of designers, you know, and so I might be written off as a graphic designer, Photoshop guy. And if I'm just written off as a Photoshop guy, that devalues a good portion of the work that I do that isn't that. And that gets too complicated to have to explain to people. So I try to just stay in an area where you understand what I do, how I do it, and what my intentions are.
Yeah, you explain it for 13-year-olds to understand.
I try to.
Well, you kind of have to because, like you said earlier, you speak a foreign language. Like, But you mentioned working at Hot Topic. What do you do at Hot Topic?
So I'm a property license designer. So there's different licenses with Hot Topic. So when you go into a Hot Topic store, you know, you see Sonic the Hedgehog, or you'll see different bands. Those are all different licenses, properties.
And you get those.
And so, so my department, we have our own properties. And
I was just, because to me, Hot Topic, I actually call that, I'm not to get you in any trouble at work, I call that the emo store. And I was just hoping to get my friend Worthless to be a model for Hot Topic, because he's the perfect guy for.
That the emo crowd and goth crowd. That's a market.
No,
Sure, for Hot Topic.
Yeah, we have a friend named Worthless. He's a rapper, but spot on model. You need him, bro. You need him in your life.
I mean, shit. Send him my way.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, bro, I think what you do is actually really cool, and it's really hard because I actually tried to take a class on it in high school. Drop the class.
Oh, really?
It's too hard, bro. Like, you need to have patience, and like you said, you need to understand what's in, or like what other people, not just what you're gonna like, but what other people are gonna like.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to, I mean, you're obviously pretty successful if you're working with my boy Acer here and other, and you're working at Hot Topic. And you said you did like album covers too. Do you? Is there any like big artists that you've done or any of that?
So in 2018, I became a vendor with Interscope. And I had a buddy that was signed to the label. His name was Foxy. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Foxy. I was doing a lot of art direction and cover art for him, and then him being signed to the label, he ended up becoming one of Future's producers and working with free bands and signing his deal there. So he was my first major artist, I would say, that I did cover art for. Early in my career, like I had done work with, like, I did a photo shoot for Hobson, I did a tour for Tech Nine, I did photo shoot with Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs. I worked at a music distribution in LA, and Sick Jackin' from Psycho Realm was one of the affiliates. So like I had early experiences with known people. But it wasn't until 2018 when I had a distribution where my work could land on something that was then put out. And then after that, my homie passed away. It turned everything upside down, you know, because it was one of those things where this is my guy, and we would have conversations like, bro, we're gonna take over the world, and then life happens. And then then after that, the label hit me, and then they were like, we got a Machine Gun Kelly project. Do you want to? This was right when he turned pop punk.
This was recent.
My impression of him was when he was a rapper. So I thought that it was going to be his rap bag.
What was it, like Lace Up? That's what he was? Lace Up?
It was Lace Up. But it was the first project that he came out with when he transitioned from hip hop to pop punk.
To tight clothes and...
all of that. He went commercial with the label. And so...
It got him Megan Fox.
It got him a lot. Got a lot of attention.
Got him a lot.
So then he became added to my roster of artists, and then I ended up getting a lot of working with Interscope artists that were more like
up and coming
guys on the roster that never really fully popped.
They're somewhere on the shelf still.
The majority of them are on the shelf. One of them is fighting a murder charge. David, I did.
No,
damn. How do
you worked for David?
Yeah, well, through the label.
Through the label.
Through the label.
So how do you feel about that? Like, are you conflicted at all? Like, does that conflict you? Like,
do you send out a note that you don't want any of your work associated with him anymore?
You can. You can if you want. If you want to disassociate yourself. I mean, I don't know him personally,
right?
You know, because it's all through the label. Like, there's a liaison between me and him.
You know, but other than that, it's very
because when you go through the label, like it. If you're a creator, sometimes it's really annoying because they play this position where they kind of protect their artists and they don't let them communicate as best as they can.
I can see that.
And that gets really annoying. But yeah, so like in his case, that's what it was. You know, he was a part of a roster that had a someone in charge, and that person that was in charge was a friend of mine. So it kind of just became a you know, hit me up like, hey, we got this artist, he's coming up, and then we did it that way. But yeah, so but in the instance of something happening, you know, like if Machine Gun Kelly does some weird shit that I don't want to align myself with. I just won't promote the fact that I did something with them.
Right,
you know?
right. That's pretty fair. I mean, I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's one of those things that some people, I mean, it's not even a big deal, to be honest. You know what I mean? As a creator, at the moment that you made it, it's like, you know, I'm sure you still get like that creative, you know, when you make something, you get like you scratch an itch. You still get that?
And you're not going to go like, oh, go ahead. Answer that question first.
Yes and no. You know, like I'm very grateful. Like, I mean, to be able to do what I... Excuse me. To be able to do what I do, I'm very grateful of it. And I understand, you know, that I could be of service, you know, with something. But the fire or the ambition or the drive, it kind of changes as time goes on. Before, it used to be, I really want to get my work sold in a store. I really want to be distributed by a major label. Like those were the motivating things.
And then once you hit them,
once that happens, then it becomes, well, shit, that didn't make me rich and famous. That didn't make me a billionaire. That didn't really do anything other than leverage me to just keep doing it. You know, and so the drive then changes.
I see what you're saying.
And then after you accomplish all of the things that you wanted to do, you kind of realize two things. Well, for me, I realized one, my dream was not that high. So there's that. And then the second part is I have to now figure out, I need to course correct and I need to reestablish what I'm doing and what I'm after or what I'm trying to do. And that could come in the way of like elevating my work or aligning myself with different people or whatever, you know, just
interesting.
So
I like that.
So now like at this level, what is now like a dream company or a
that was
dream
my question,
like,
bro.
who do you want to work with now? Like what
dream
would be
collab?
Like dream collab.
Or something that you could even like put your hands on.
Because
you're doing a bunch of different shit.
Well, my question was similar. It was going to be what artists, because you work with artists, and then I guess if you could get a position in any like higher end brand, what kind of?
If I were to pick one artist, it would be personal. It'd be Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be M. Just personal.
That's fucking dead.
That's dope.
You know,
I understand.
But in turn, if I'm thinking outside of myself and you know, on like a big picture, like there isn't anybody. Like it's just, I think me. Like I think my next thing is make Grafik more of a name in itself.
Well, do you have a personal brand?
Yeah. Well, so like I have a story. I have a comic issue. I have characters. I have a story.
Oh and shit! You have a comic?
In that story, I'm working on it.
I was like, damn,
it's not out. It's not out. But I'm writing it, and it's a story that comes with characters and you know my own universe.
That's dope. That's dope, bro. We gotta make a collab. That's my dream collab now.
Is it?
A Grafik, LSDP,
in the
comic book collab.
I mean, well, so I mean, it's funny, but also there's truth in that because in the story of this comic and these characters, like they're all reflections of me and my career, and there's a story connected to it. So when I do an issue or a book or you know whatever, obviously I have full creative control to be able to write in whatever it is that I want. So in the path of one of the characters, if he just so happens to make a stop at LS, you know, podcast,
just forget their names and my name is Lazaro. Lazar.
So I think it's just more of it's less about other people now. You know, like I'm not. I got to a point where like I used to be really impressed. Growing up, like I would see people, I'm like, man, that's impressive. And then it became now that I'm a little bit older, it's like, well, I'm not impressed anymore. We're in a different time now,
and you're more established too.
More established.
That probably goes into.
I understand how the game works more.
You can see behind like smoke and mirrors.
It's not as cool as it was once upon a time.
For sure.
So now it's playing the game, and then it's like, okay, how can I leverage my information now to what my ideas are? Because very rarely do I get to work with people where I like their ideas. And I don't know if that's just if something's wrong with me or what the what's the deal.
I think that's just an artist thing.
I think so.
It's an artist thing.
I think so.
These guys are all the same way.
I think it's that.
They hate all my ideas.
So how do I solve that problem? You know, and I solve that problem by not putting too much emphasis on what other people are doing and just focus more on my own thing. So
what about like
I fuck with that heavy.
You don't like you would choose. This is a stupid question because I would choose me over like another job too. But you wouldn't want like a head designer at Louis Vuitton or head designer at Dior or something like that. You'd
so like I'm already essentially like corporate design, right? Like with my job. At my job, there's perks with that, no different than there's perks with Louis Vuitton. Obviously, it's a different company, it's a different thing.
But essentially,
it's what you make of it.
Yeah, you get every Pierce the Veil shirt there
I
is.
get every Pierce the Veil shirt.
Lucky.
I get all the corn merch. You know,
That's right.
So like because when you see things like Virgil and what he did, well,
Steel Jobs.
Nah, rest in peace.
Honestly, one of my favorite creatives.
Same, bro.
Pharrell,
Same.
Top three.
Pharrell. Oh yeah, I love Pharrell. Look, Pharrell. No, not this one. I thought I was wearing something else today.
So like when you have people like that, like they're already a person of interest before that. You know, it's like what they made of themselves, and then they align themselves with another thing that has a name. So now it's two names working.
Yes.
And then the promotion or the PR, let's just say, that they put in the forefront. If I make a name for myself doing what I'm doing, and say I'm still with Hot Topic, if I go on a media press run, then, it's like I could make something out of nothing. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about Louis Vuitton and Prada or whatever the fuck. Like,
because you just told us that it's all about what's inside of you and what you got to figure out for yourself and what drives you and makes you happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like you could go off on like trying to fill a void with all this other shit, accomplishments, people that you work with, and then you hit them and then you're like, why don't I feel better? I thought this was going to accomplish me. I thought I was going to be fulfilled. And so you kind of figure out, which I think is what you're telling me. Like I figured it out and I have to pour back into myself. I'm trying to put some other shit in here. Like, bro, I got to fulfill myself, with what aligns with me, the people I want to work. It's like to what you're saying about Virgil. Like he just aligned himself with another brand that was really intact with what they're doing. But,
And also too,
alignment, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, alignment is a big thing because it's different from person to person. Like everyone's trajectory and timeline is different. Everyone's ideas or whatever. So in I don't care about corporate brands. Personally. But if it provides opportunity, if it provides a way for me to elevate what I'm doing, then I'm all for it.
I see what you're saying.
But it just depends, man. Like I think there's always going to be that kind of search of like, what's your position? Like what place are you going to end up at, as a creator? Because what I'm doing now is not what I was doing when I was 20. And what I'm going to do at 50 is not what I'm doing right now. So it's just, it's a constant kind of evolution of it too. So
that's dope. I think we should evolve, not only as like creators, but like humans and shit.
If you're stuck even 5 years apart, stuck in the same place, it's kind of like a...
That's always been a fear of mine. Becoming complacent. It's always, it's scary because, this is, not to get too crazy dark, but like
you can.
I always thought about death young. And the fear of that, where it's kind of like that we are on a real short timeline here, and how it affects people, you know, like when you lose someone close to you, or you know, the thought of not being able to do something that you know were passionate about, or set yourself out, or what you leave behind. I've always thought about that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of helped the way I move with how I'm thinking about projects, or how I'm thinking about working with people.
Do you see that in a way more like you want to put more stuff out, or are you thinking more like legacy wise, like what I want to leave behind is in terms of like my creative projects and stuff like that?
I think it's all of that. And I think it gets tough, because when you're thinking of it in terms of legacy or leave things behind, you can only do so much. You know, like I don't have the ability to just do whatever it is that I want. Like I have to map and strategize it out. You know, so I think it's more so investing the time wisely. You know, it's like if I know that I'm you know, targeting my time, you know, towards the right direction, then I feel that's an accomplishment. You know, like I'm not fucking off.
I'm not bullshitting. Because then, God forbid, like if I were to pass early or whatever, I would feel like fuck. I wasn't. You know, if I was like unaligned, or I was bullshitting, I'd be like let's say I have a thought in the afterlife, right? I'd be like, fuck, I was fucking off. I don't feel like that now, you know. I'm sure you don't feel like that.
Well, for me, it's more so the people that will still be here. Like, what will my boys say? You know, what will my wife say, or my dad? You know, like what will people?
What'd you build?
You know,
what will they say about me?
Like what that part is, you know. So it's a lot. When I was younger, I was maybe a senior in high school. I read this quote that was like, I sacrificed my 20s so I could so my 30s can be how I wanted them to be, or something. It was something along those lines, and it stuck with me. And so, you know, throughout my 20s, it was a lot of just like
sacrifice,
trying to figure out how to move in my career and what I'm doing. And obviously, there's a lot of, you know, downtime, you know, but for the most part, it's like still keeping your eyes
somewhere in your head. You had that in your sight.
For sure. Like, I'm not trying to be at this club. I'm not trying to dick around with bullshit that's not going to do nothing. I'd rather be home drawing something. You know, like
it's almost like throwing a football to your future self. And your future self is going to catch it, and you're going to be like, damn, thank you so much for doing that.
It's a lot of that.
It's more satisfying to do that, right? Like, being at home, as boring as it sounds, doing something that you actually love, as opposed to like going out to a bar, doing something that everyone else says is so much fun, and you're trying and trying and trying, and it's just like not as fun or anywhere close as fun as people make it seem it is. And
but you know, it's very subjective from person to person, because I have a thing that allows me to do that.
Not everyone has a talent.
Not everybody has a thing. You know, like there's some people that they're not, like that is their thing. You know, like they don't have a
degenerates.
They're not motivated. You know, they're not ambitious, or they're not creative. You know, like they look forward. I enjoy being by myself. You know, like I'm comfortable there. And I think like being outside of that in an environment where there's a lot of noise happening, I just feel out of place. And like even when I was in school, I was like, I felt out of place.
I see what you're saying.
You know,
some of my favorite time is on my drive home alone. Sometimes don't play music.
Were you ever confused by that? By like that feeling of like, damn, this feels wrong. Like this doesn't feel right for me. You know, like were you ever confused by that
at school?
Or let's say, like, because you're saying like I'm outside, it's loud, like it's uncomfortable, I'd rather be home or whatever. Like, were you ever confused by that sentiment? Like, or did you always just know like this isn't for me type shit?
I always kind of knew, you know, because I like, you know, a lot of it was just observing, like looking at the behavior of people, and just being kind of like, you know, maybe it's judgmental. Maybe I'm looking too far into it.
Or maybe you're high IQ. Who knows?
maybe
right?
I'm autistic.
Yeah. No,
you know?
maybe you have Asperger's.
Yeah,
Hey, okay,
it's possible.
Yeah,
Shit.
you brought up death.
Oh yeah.
Are you ever? Do you ever? How do I say it? Are you afraid to like die with projects that you didn't get to put out or anything like that? Like, are there projects that you are still working on that you're trying to release or like work on,
and then something happens, and then that just doesn't happen?
Yeah,
nah.
There's no like file on the USB that you're like, oh, this is like the one that has to drop.
No, because I've separated myself from my work.
Yeah,
like I used to be really, real personal about everything, and now I don't give a shit.
Okay,
you know, like everything that I'm working on, like. The hard truth is like if I'm doing cover art or if I'm doing collaborating, I don't care.
Yeah,
it's because I there's someone else.
Yeah,
you know, so you know, it's like I'm grateful and I appreciate it, but it doesn't define. You know, like my life.
I see what you're saying.
It's not for you, so you.
I see what you're saying. I see
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you know how to do it, so you help do them a favor.
Yeah, it's just like I'm working with somebody to make their vision come to life and all that kind of shit. Right. So if I die and their project doesn't come out, I mean, shit.
No, but
go find someone else to do
I guess his question was like any personal projects.
Well,
like,
I guess he said like your comic.
Yeah. I mean, my personal project is like kind of everything in a way because it's part of the story. Yeah. You know, like even if it's for someone else, like I'm still doing it. It's still a part of my story.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that was a perfect example there, the comic. If that wasn't to come out, it wouldn't be like that big a deal.
No, because I mean, nobody has expectations for it. Right. Like I'm the only one.
Right.
Oh, not
you know what I'm saying? Like
expecting something.
like if it was a situation where I'm Quentin Tarantino, and everybody on Earth knows I'm about to make my last film, and then something happens to me and that just doesn't happen. That's more of a like, goddamn, like that would have been crazy.
Oh, I was about to drop this on the type shit, you know?
And what about, you know how artists, they have the albums that drop after?
The posthumous albums?
Yeah. How do you feel about like let's say Acer was like, hey bro, the homie passed away.
That's what happened to my boy Foxy with Interscope. Like he passed away, it was like right before his project came out, you know? And my thoughts on shit like that is if you're not running a tight ship and you don't have the right people connected to what you're leaving behind, they're going to put it out and it's not going to be the vision.
Right. It's not going to be what represents you correctly.
No. I think 80% of albums that come out after artists die don't come out the way that they would have dropped them.
Give me an example.
A lot of them, all those, like even those after death, and like those might be the best ones, like the Biggie and Tupac ones. But like anything that's come out after Draco passed away is not good. Anything that came out after DMX passed away, the Michael Jackson shit, none of that shit is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an element of cash grab to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and then the actual talent isn't there to have his final say.
Like what was the XX Tentacion? Great artist. A lot of his music that's dropped after he's passed, unfortunately, doesn't paint him in that picture. In my opinion.
What is it that makes you say that?
I feel like it definitely sounds like
the sound is different.
It sounds like these artists didn't get to actually pick what they wanted done with this song. And their homie chose like, oh, this is what he would have liked. And it's
I mean, wouldn't the homie know more than anyone else?
Sometimes, bro, but not really, because this guy could show me a song and he'll play it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I know where you're going with this. It's like, actually, I was not going that way. I was going to try to do this with it, actually. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure the homie knows somewhat of where he was.
I mean, it depends on the homie.
Yeah. Like, and I think, sorry.
No, go ahead. No,
I think no one's gonna care more about your art than you. Ultimately,
for sure.
You know,
for sure. So there is a. Yeah, I mean, if you're not the one that's final say on it, but I mean, even then, it's like the ones that didn't die that keep putting music out, and it's not like what it used to be. It's like, well, what happened there? Like, you know, like. Artists where their sound changes, or they try to get too experimental and they lose the element where, like you had a core fan base off of this, and then you wanted to get experimental and go a different direction.
Yeah.
And now,
that's not what the people came here for.
That's not what. Yeah. And then you go do a concert and you're performing the old shit.
Yeah.
Sounds like A$AP Rocky.
What is that? Like I see that, like that's one thing that's always kind of I've questioned. It's like you get a lot of these artists. I'm not gonna say artist names.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of the old school dudes that I grew up being a fan of, they had a real specific image and sound. Time goes on and they switch up, and it's like, okay, you're getting older, experiences happen, whatever. So I could see you shift away. But then when you get confronted about it, then it's like, well, that's the old shit. This is the new, like I'm elevated, I'm different. And then when they go do a concert, they're performing their old shit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and then they don't have any hits, like for how they used to, because they don't have the sound, or the climate of music is different, or the fan base is not rocking for them the way they used to.
That sounds like my boy Wiz Khalifa. Wiz is tight as fuck, but he also is one of those guys like, man, I can't. He literally went off and said, I can't be making music for people that used to listen to me back when I first came out. That's just not who I am, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then you see him at his concerts and he's doing all those songs because that's what people want.
All the old stuff.
No one cares about what you dropped yesterday when your bangers are from 15 years ago,
Yeah, I think it just depends on the artist, on how they carry their career, because I mean, how forward thinking are they? Like, okay, for example, like the overall packaging of a situation, right? Like if The Weeknd, let's just take him as an example, because he always has like a big production
theory behind
there's
his
a whole
drop.
there's a whole method to it. If we fast forward into the future and he's only performing old songs, what does that say about the way he's kind of carried his career? I feel like there should always be an evolution that conceptually kind of carries through. Like if you're gonna come to this concert, you're gonna get the songs from this album. Like know what to expect.
Right.
But when it gets messy, when it's a little too all over the place, like if the concept is something that is one thing connected to an album, and then they go to a concert and then they're performing all of their old shit that's not on the new album, let's just say. It's just,
throws you off.
It brings it back to how like branding is.
It's just branding and promotion. A lot of people don't have maybe the right management, the right creative director. Maybe they don't have the right label, whatever the case is, and they're just left to their own ideas with no course correction. A lot of the time, that might not be the best, because you do want to have a team of people that can all kind of bring things to the table, So
I fuck with that.
But it's very subjective, it's artist to artist. Like every artist has a different
approach,
vibe to them, and do things a certain, like the way Kendrick does shit is vastly different than the way Drake does shit. The music they make is vastly different. But the reason why let's just say like their feud is such a big deal is because both of them are both big. But they both, pause. But both of them do. No pause. Both of them carry their career very differently. And then it reflects back on the way people take to them. The type of cover art, the type of merchandising, the type of music videos.
One of them forgets that they even have a career for like 5 years and then somehow wake up from something and drop an album.
Oh, this guy's a Kendrick hater.
Kendrick?
Team Drake.
Kendrick.
This guy's Team Drake.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, shit.
Subjective.
Everyone's got their thing, like when it comes to, for me specifically, like I'm more impressed by when it does come out, like the album or whatever, what's connected to it. How methodical, creative, clever are you going to be? Because you're in a position where you have the world in your at the palm of your hands. And if you're just going to do some bullshit because you get attention, like, okay, well, that tells people you're not that clever. You're not that creative. Or you're not putting any effort into other areas, and so like Kendrick, for example, You know, he can disappear for 5 years and whatever because mission's already accomplished. Like he can do that.
He has to stir up the pot before he comes back to be able to drop the album, which is why he did what he did. But
I mean, Drake did the same thing. Drake went on social media and put his whole dick out.
Yeah,
like that, like antics.
Laz remembers that one.
Like antics like that, in my opinion, that takes away from.
To a lot of people, it doesn't, especially when his 90% of his audience is females. Like,
can't be 90. That number's off, but I agree with you. It takes away from like.
What has replay value at the end of the day? This guy showed his pig and you didn't like it.
But the thing is that it's not. There is no competition.
Oh, there's a competition.
No, bro, because both of them have replay value.
Yeah. Depends on where we're at.
Of course, it also depends. It depends on who you are. It depends how old you are. It depends on what color your skin is. It depends on what your favorite color is. It depends on what type of clothes you like. Everything depends.
To us, it looks like more of a competition. That's like what they're packaging
for sure,
in, right? But to them, like how you said, mission's already accomplished.
I think
they're already chilling, doing whatever the fuck
for sure.
want,
But you don't think it bugs them? Like I think it bugs Drake that he lost.
It could, but honestly, like if you're chilling, successful, $1 million mansion, and you're good, I don't think that could bother me. You know? I think I'd be okay.
He's bothered.
Like Drake is so legendary and successful.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's bothered.
I think he's bothered, dude. I'm a big Drake fan.
Yeah.
For me to say that I think this guy is bothered, like I don't think.
All right. Why do you say that?
He shouldn't have dropped. He shouldn't have sued. He shouldn't have done. Like you only do this if you're bothered.
But was it him or was it like associates that did that?
I think
at the end of the day, your name is on it. Like if we went to sue someone, my name's gonna be on the piece of paper. Like we collectively decided, but my name's on there too. Like
I feel like the more they lean into the beef, the more money they
but
make
at the same time, how much of his name does he own? Because if the label has a stake ownership in his likeness and his name, and the label's like, no, we got to go after this situation. Like
it was a big deal. It's a big, it's a heavy accusation.
And then on top of that, the label, they're riddled with all kinds of antics and PR and bullshit.
Dude,
how do we even know it was even real?
Exactly.
Someone got called a pedophile, so it got pretty real.
But he's not that though. You know, like that's.
But you got to convince all these idiots, not you guys. I'm just saying, everyone that listens that he's not.
I know, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
At that point, you might as well have lost the war if you got to convince idiots.
The thing is, bro, it's playing the politics game. Like, politics are the same thing. It's just like we the people, we don't have definitive proof of anything. We just consume what we're told, and then whatever we feel like aligns with our thoughts is where we go. We weren't in a room with Drake when he did some pedo shit, so I can't call him that. Is there? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like to write people off before conviction. You know, like it's kind of like a guilty before, I don't like that.
But it's because he has pictures with 16-year-old. Remember, that's why he's guilty.
Nah.
But those
it was just more like it was just throwing shade on his name. Like no one thinks it's a real thing.
It's a battle.
Yeah, it's a battle. You're gonna say the Grammy shit you can about somebody.
The audiences are vastly different. You know, it's a war of the worlds, but we need that entertainment. You know, it's WWE.
Sure. Yeah, we were talking about
it. Yeah, it's literally Kane versus Undertaker.
Yeah,
you know, and the way people,
great way to put it.
The way people would ride for Kane or the way they would ride for Undertaker. Like they made it their thing.
Yeah,
and it's like, yo, these dudes are fucking homies. Like,
that's That's kind of how I see like the world, even in like politics and stuff. I feel like it's all WWE.
That's all it is.
And I wanted to ask you, since we were talking about artists and the way they brand themselves, like, what do you think of the way like Kanye West brands himself? Because that fool can just like at this point touch anything and turn it to gold.
Cap
in a way.
He's made it to where he's in a league of his own.
Yeah.
So that itself has become the brand guide.
I think that was a thing. He's not that no more.
I mean, I don't know, dude, like his Super Bowl commercials.
Or to
he paid for that. That's like
paid for what?
For the Super Bowl commercials.
But like,
but it's the way he did it.
Yeah. But look at him now. He's banned from countries. They canceled festivals that he was headlining because he was headlining.
Yeah.
And these are people that he apologized to, but aren't taking his apologies. Like, I think he can't really just touch anything and make it gold anymore. I think that was definitely a thing of the past for him. And it sucks that he did everything he did because
I disagree.
Look at what he's caused.
I disagree. I'm gonna go see Kanye in Spain for his tour. I don't know if you guys have seen him. His shows are huge. There's 1 million people in queue for his fucking tickets. Like, that means something.
There's you know,
and this was like a month ago.
I've always I was okay. My bad. Let me take a step back.
Nah, dude, go for it.
So I started turning into kind of an old head a few years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe 10 years ago.
Yes.
Acer can attest to this.
Yeah.
I hated Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Like, I hated fucking Lil Uzi and all
rap
that.
And kind of,
I didn't like it because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on. I wasn't paying attention. And I was looking at it through a very specific perspective.
Yes.
Where, you know, out of sight, out of mind, you know, because what I was listening to was not that.
Yeah.
And then I started just becoming a hater.
Yeah.
but the thing is like a hater, like an authentic or genuine hater is when a person dislikes a thing without enough information.
Yes.
Get all of the information, as much as possible, and stats and fucking everything, and then form a coherent, cohesive, you know, opinion about it. I wasn't doing that. I was like, this fool's a clown because his fucking hair sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what kind of judgment is that? You know?
Yeah.
So then there was two people that got me to change my mind being that way. One was Travis Barker, the drummer. The second one was Cartoon, the tattoo artist.
Yes.
Cartoon, he is a multidisciplinary artist. He never he didn't just stick with tattooing and airbrushing. Like, he does digital format stuff too, and like he just does multiple. He's all over.
Yeah,
you know, like
multiple creative outlets.
Yeah, all kinds of creative outlets. He didn't block anything out. Then then like with the collaborative side of things, you see him collaborate with T-Mobile. You see him collaborate with the Dodgers. You see him collaborate with the Kings. So he's open-minded to, you know, maybe he only uses fucking Verizon, but he's collaborating with this other brand, or maybe, you know. So it's the amount of work he was putting out. I started thinking about that. And then same thing with Travis Barker, where I started thinking about, he's doing work with Willow.
Yeah.
You know, he's drumming with fucking Will Smith's daughter, or he's doing something with who's the other act? I want to say maybe Uzi, whatever. Yeah. He's not like disregarding the new generation.
I see what you're saying.
He might not get it.
Embracing it.
He's embracing it. And I see them specifically had embraced things. And me, like, working in the entertainment world or creative space with artists or with other people, I had to kind of check myself on my opinions about people, where I'm like, what if Uzi hit me up and was like, I love your work. Yeah. Can we work together? Like, oh,
nah, shit, you're whack.
My bad.
Yeah, you have purple hair.
You know, like I had to change my frame of thought in order for me to connect better with people. And then in the context of situations like maybe Kendrick and Drake, what is my actual opinion there? Yeah. Well, I don't know either one of them. Both of them have good songs. I don't give a shit about anything that they do. Yeah. It makes no difference to my life. Right. How much of it do I want to be entertained by? You know, and so I'm indifferent.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, if Kendrick hits me up, he's like, yo, let's work together. Or if Drake hits me up, he's like, yo, let's work together. And, you know, I'm getting love from both of them, pause. Whatever the case is, you know, like, I don't want to be in a situation unless it's something that is a reflection of my, say, integrity.
Yes.
Like with David, I won't work with him.
Yeah.
Even if the whole thing that's going on with him is a PR move.
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna work with them.
Yeah.
You know, if fucking who else has some bullshit on them? You know, like that goes against my integrity.
R. Kelly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a level of that.
Did he?
No, fuck no, hell no. Yeah. You know, like there's certain people that just have things connected to them.
It could like taint. It could taint you.
I just don't want to be involved with that. But that doesn't have anything to do with like opportunity or nothing. It's just like, did this person do a thing, or are they painted under a light that is not that good?
And do I want to be tied with it?
And do I want to be connected to it? So, you know, so anyways, you know, to answer your question about Kanye, you know, it's like you asked, how do I feel about the way he's branded himself?
Yes. Do you think it's genius, or do you think it's not
well,
the move?
I'll preface it saying when he came out, I wasn't a fan of Kanye. That whole time period, I never liked Kanye's music ever. It wasn't until
That's crazy. You're probably the first guy I ever.
I was never a Kanye fan because I was more into hardcore rap.
Yeah.
Like I was more
Underground,
into
Jedi Mind Tricks.
No, like
Eminem, Jay-Z, Nas, Big L.
I was never a Jay-Z fan.
Wu-Tang.
No one is here. Jay-Z's trash.
Chris, you agree with that?
Eminem, you know, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Spice One.
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah, I love.
So I love Atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know, fucking.
So that's I get what you're saying. You're very into like the underground hip hop,
The
like
Wu.
real
Wu-Tang,
shit, like shit with substance and all this.
Yeah, like just gangster rap.
Yeah,
or
I like gangster rap shit
stuff
too.
with stuff with substance. So when he came out, I was like, it's too soft.
Right.
I looked at him like my generation of Run DMC.
Right.
I don't like Run DMC either. You know, and then it's people can say what, you know, like they're legends and all that shit, but it's just not like it didn't do anything for my timeline. Right.
Yeah.
So when he came out, you know, the polo shirts and all that kind of shit, I didn't like it.
Right.
You were one of the people making fun of. There was a lot of people making fun of him for that.
No, I didn't make fun of him. It was out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I didn't watch his video.
Why is this fool wearing pink shirts?
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
But that all changed when his documentary came out. And I got to watch.
This is recent.
Yeah.
You got to see what
when
went
I
into
saw
it.
that 3-part documentary,
Donda.
there was a lot of career parallels and emotions that I went through in my career.
Yeah.
That I got to watch, like him go through.
Yeah.
And the delusion of the confidence,
self-belief,
all of that.
Yeah.
His mom, you know, passing and all that kind of shit. Like that was my grandpa to me.
Yeah.
You know, so there was a lot of emotional, like, damn, like
reflection.
A lot of
Honestly, I thought that documentary has saved him because he had done the whole slavery was a choice and all that shit and then the documentary came out, and I remember we would go back and forth almost every pod at that time talking about Kanye West, how I disagreed with what he was doing, and they weren't agreeing with what he was doing, but they were like, he's a creative genius for doing this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I saw the documentary, I was like, bro, like, yeah, like, I get it, why he's so fucked up or whatever. I thought he was gonna come back and do something crazy, but nope, he just did it all over again.
See, people like him, they're misunderstood people.
Yeah. He's like, I'm Apple in the flesh.
Yeah, people are not listening to what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
They're listening to what
He's
they
saying.
hear.
Yeah.
No, to what he's saying.
I know
You
what
know,
you-
and there's a lot of people that are like that, where, you know, majority of people don't want to, they don't want to read between the lines. They don't want to try to understand what a person is saying. They want to write them off because of how they say it.
Yeah.
If I say something aggressively, then you might be like, he's too aggressive.
right.
I don't want to hear it.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
bitch, I just gave you the answers to the universe, but you don't want to hear it because I'm too aggressive.
It came off.
It came off the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that's majority of people. Majority of people, they don't want to hear
what it is.
They don't want the brutal truth.
That's how I am. Like if you say it, I'm gonna take it how you say it because I try to think out everything that I say, so you don't have to read between the lines for me. So I'm not gonna do that for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just take it how you.
Look, that's valid. Like there's a lot of people that articulate themselves in a way where, you know, I'm gonna make sure that you understand what I'm saying word for word when I say it, how I say it.
I don't want it to get lost in translation.
I don't want it to get lost in translation.
Yeah. One of my sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of my favorite Kanye West lines is sometimes I try to communicate and words get in the way.
Yeah.
You know, which I think goes to your point. Like, I don't think people are really listening to what he's trying to say.
When I realized that was what was going on with him, like I feel like that.
Yeah.
Like in my lifetime, you know, like there's been moments where, you know, I get into an argument, like say if it's with my wife, right?
Yeah.
We get into a disagreement about something. You know, if I'm too passionate about what I'm talking about and I'm not really explaining what I'm trying to say, or articulating it the right way, then she's not going to receive it the way that I need her to, and then it becomes this, you know, lost in translation or, you know, misunderstood.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so when you're a person like Kanye, where, I mean, the dude sneezes and an article comes out.
Sure.
Everything that he says and does is going to be taken out of context.
Yes.
And people are not going to pay attention to what he's trying to say.
But it doesn't help when you're doing these interviews in the all black KKK like suit, like
but
what are you trying to say? Like, what are we supposed to read in between those lines?
No, I get that. But my takeaway of it comes from a place of where I'm not affected. Okay, so keep this in mind.
Yeah.
If he dressed like a KKK member, that doesn't bother me any. So I have to look at it from, let's take away the meaning of all of this shit that is going on. Let's strip it from its meaning. Let's strip it from its representation. Because this microphone right here doesn't mean shit to me, but it's important to you because it's your microphone, it's your podcast, but it doesn't mean anything to me. So what is the real value of this thing?
Yeah. Well, to you, it depends.
It depends on the person. Yeah. So when he goes and does a thing on a podcast where he's dressed like a KKK guy and he's got a swastika or whatever the fuck, okay.
Because he was spitting.
Take that all away and look at it from him being a black man doing it. What is he trying to say there?
Yeah.
What is he trying to say, you know, when he's explaining something about, you know, how a certain group of people runs the media? I mean, don't they?
Yeah.
So what is he? Is he saying things that he's not supposed to say? And if that's the case, who's telling him you're not supposed to say that?
Yeah.
And also, if we're listening to someone like him, why are we listening with our emotions? So like that's another thing too. Is like there's people that listen with their emotions. They don't listen with their understanding.
Yeah.
They're listening with what their feelings are.
But that's how he's speaking. So it's like, you gotta, like, to me, you gotta level expectations are both on the. You can't expect the person listening to not listen with emotions when the person speaking is speaking with emotions. Like,
but it depends on what they're speaking about.
Negativity.
Speaking and listening,
like,
that's
subjective.
Is it? Like, come on, bro. You're wearing a whole nothing about the KKK is positive.
No,
nothing about the swastika is positive. And like I said, when he wore that shit, the shit he was saying, bro, was fucking facts. It was true. It was all good. But why'd you have to wear it? Why can't you just do it normal? Because he needed shock value. Yeah, and he needed people to watch.
Outrage marketing kind of goes into that.
To what point?
He understands the game that's being played by the people that run the show.
Yeah, and now you're banned from countries and people don't want to.
But the thing is, he beat the game already.
Did he? If he's banned from countries, he's rich right now. Yeah. At some point, this money runs out. The lifestyle he lives is not the cheapest. One day he's in Paris, another day he's in Calabasas visiting his kids. Like, that shit runs out as much as he has. If these guys that he says are in charge are like, fucking block him out of this shit, where's this money gonna keep coming from if you keep saying negative shit? It's like if us here, like, if you said anything negative, your job would be affected like mine would. if I said something negative, right? Like, and if the clip went viral, even if the intentions weren't.
Well, okay, you're right. So when you're under a contractual agreement,
yes, which he has always been.
Then there's rules, right? That are followed. He wanted to get out of his contracts. Yeah. He did what he was supposed to do. And if people didn't like it, they didn't like it. But on the same side of it, the people that monetize all of his antics and all that are making money off of it.
For sure.
They're getting promotion. So if he says anything bad about a group of people,
they're still
making money.
Yeah, for sure.
They're still benefiting. You know, if they wanted to take him out, they'd take him out.
Yeah.
I don't think they can at this point because he spoke out so much. That's the only positive thing that's came out of him speaking that much. Like, I really don't think if something happened to Kanye West, they're going after Kim Kardashian and then a certain group of people.
But that's predictive thinking.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost like knowing the play before the coach brings the playbook.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like how much of all of this stuff is a ruse? How much of all of it is antics that it's intended for you to say what you're saying?
Yeah.
It could be working on you.
Yeah.
And you're so...
Or it could be working on you guys.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like us talking about it, is it working?
Oh yeah, well for sure.
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
Anytime that is like
that was mission complete.
It works.
No publicity is bad publicity.
For sure.
Unless you're wearing a swastika and the KKK outfit.
Because what we're saying, what both of us are saying is it's both rooted in reality. You're not saying anything that's incorrect or wrong. Your perspective is rooted in a way that's true because it's coming from how you feel.
Yeah.
And also, there's another side of it where if you take the feelings away from shit and you try to analyze the game, it's like, okay, well, they're playing with us, you know? So, yeah. But anyways, that's enough about Kanye. God damn.
Yeah. Give us a clue bomb, Chris.
I don't know any of the songs.
Well, if I were to take away anything from this like interview, it'll be like my goal is to put myself in a position where I'm able to say no. I think that's like so like no one really thinks about that.
Yeah.
You can't say no to me.
It's hard to say no to these guys.
It's not saying no is self-preservation.
Yes.
Well,
Grafik, thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah.
I know you have an event that you're going to be doing with the homie Acer as well. Sometime in the near future.
Yeah. So Chicano Festival, Chicano Music Festival is coming up June 7th. June 7th. So Acer. So I've been doing his designs and helping him develop his brand as much as I can. But it's his brand, and this is his first official pop up.
Hell yeah!
At Chicano Music Festival. So I'm excited for that.
It's gonna get lit.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
You should go as Miko, and he should go as the metal.
We'll probably pop up. To be honest, we'll probably pop out. Show some
you
love,
should. Yeah, you should.
And we'll try to get some people out there. You know.
Yeah, there's a few people that I want to get. There's a few people that are going to be, performing that, we're all kind of associated in a way. So just trying to make it happen.
There's going to be artists and stuff performing.
It's a big festival.
It's a music festival.
Oh, it's a music festival.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a festival where people like kind of like a swap meet.
Oh, it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a music festival. So there's that, and then Machetes and Micheladas is out. Right now, Coyote.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah!
Coyote. Their album is out already. That was the last, I guess, big project that I got to work on.
Yes.
They're both Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Acer's thing. So between that project release and then Acer's thing, those are my recent
hell yeah.
Releases.
And then where can we find you on social media? Give the people your socials.
My website is bygrafik.com, bygrafik.com, and then my Instagram is @grafik @grafik.
Grafik, thank you so much for coming through, brother.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon. It's LSDP, the hottest podcast in the motherfucking world. Let's go.